Pretty Little Liars, the TV show, sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We've provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And today we have 2 new episodes of Pretty Little Liars.
Welcome to the Kahn Cabin, where only exciting things happen and you only get sexually harassed.
You can also fight with Jenna.
Oh yeah, you get to play a nice game of truth.
Truth. I feel like I'd be good at that game.
Yeah, you definitely would. Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, so what? Let's go.
I got no secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I did sleep with my teacher.
That'd be so funny.
He wasn't my teacher when I slept with him.
That'd be so funny if Aria was just like, yeah, huh?
Sure.
But Aria does a really good job. Not to like sell her short. She like that's perfect. Like Aria seems trained, but Aria's just really focused. And then she doesn't break until she leaves. Mm-hmm. And then she's just like, I can't go back in there because that was horrible. Good for her. And I can tell that I'm older now, because when I was younger, if I'd watched this, I would have been like, wow, what a cool party. And then now I watch this, I'm like, this is awful. Like, why would I ever want to be here? This is terrible. But the allure of just like having a cabin with no adults and just a bunch of kids that you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got your 2 age groups. You got your high schoolers and your 23-year-olds.
Yeah. Which is it's an interesting one. But before
I just hit my elbow so hard on your chair. Oh my god, it hurts so bad.
Yeah, you really smacked into it there.
Oh, that's gonna bruise. Before we
get into it, there, you brought to my attention, and I don't know how I messed this up. So this is our programming schedule. So I don't know how I got under the thought that Ravenswood was in the middle of season 3. That's not till season 4. So we are now going to continue on our regular schedule of going through season 3. We'll do our 1 episode for Halloween.
We have to do Pretty Dirty Secrets. We have to do the web series.
The web series. I think, is that before Halloween? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is before Halloween. That'll probably be a shorter episode. I don't know if you got questions or comments. I'd say email them in.
I didn't watch it when it happened.
Podcast@gmail.com or deadendspcast@gmail.com. Deadendspcast@gmail.com. I'll just put it in there. Oh yeah, when it happened, I definitely wouldn't have either. That was not my vibe. And web series they were really trying to drive web series.
And I was like, I'd rather not.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'll catch it on the other side. But I was also the person that now I wouldn't do the same, but I'm not gonna visit the things that are outside the main thing. You know what I mean? It's I'm not going to read the books because I'm watching the show. That it's not canon like the show or something like that. Rather than it's it could be a fun story. Mm-hmm. That just wasn't me. But we are gonna do Pretty Dirty Secrets after the next episode, and then we'll do Halloween special into the rest of season 3, and then for 4 we'll do 4 on to the middle of the season because it's set up the same way, so it'll be 12 episodes. Then the 4 Halloween special is a backdoor pilot for Ravenswood. So we'll do that alone and then segue nicely into Ravenswood.
I know
5 episodes on that, then back to season 4.
I know they referred to it that way, but there's a lot of other plot that happens in that's related to our main story. It's not just a Ravenswood backdoor pilot.
But it's like the Jesta backdoor pilot, because that's half and half.
I would say that the location and the why is given to you, but a lot of it's focused on other things.
Oh, okay. All right.
The girls have other reasons for being where they are.
Got it.
Caleb just then it becomes oh wait.
What about Caleb?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't know where I got that idea. I'm glad you were wait, it's not till season 4, and I was like, that's not right. And then I looked it up and I'm like,
I said Hannah's hair isn't right.
So I don't know, but so that'll be the update. There'll probably be after this episode, maybe a break. Who knows? That's why it might be when our break is. But if you get to the next episode and it says like, hey, the break is going to be after this one, then it'll be after that one.
It's a surprise. We don't know.
There
might not be a break at all.
There might not be a break at all. We'll see how this week goes.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to jump right in?
I am.
Episode 56, Season 3, Episode 9, The Kahn Game. Not James Kahn, rest in peace. The worst version of Kahns. Spencer and Aria are at the brew. Aria shows her a photo of Maya with the same tattoo as Holden that she found on her website the night before. Spencer is not excited about this and won't bite on like any of like the details, and Aria wonders why. Spencer's like, I literally can't do this anymore. I forgot to apply to college. Like, I forgot to apply to Penn, which is for early admission, which is like my dream school. And I got a B on a test. So like my life is falling apart. We then see Cece at the counter pick up Aria's phone that was left there, and she brings it over to them and asks like, oh, who has the UPenn pen? And it's like, I went to Penn. And like Spencer's like, what? And Cece's like, don't act shocked. She's like, no. You could like maybe like hook me up with someone that I could talk to about my application. Cece's like, well, there's this party tonight, and there's a guy named Steven I know that supposedly got a job in admissions. Spencer's like, well, let's go then. Cece's like, I wasn't planning on it, but Spencer wears her down, and Cece is like, okay, like, well, I'll bring you along to this and we'll go. And then walks off. And Spencer tries to get Aria to join her, but Aria says she has to talk to Fitz after school. Now knowing everything here, it seems like Cece is like, oh, don't tug me to go along to this. Police are at Hannah's house talking to Ashley. The court order went through to get the blood sample from Hannah, and she has 5 days to comply. The cop leaves as Hannah shouts down to Ashley to find a hairbrush. Ashley picks up her phone and calls Veronica Hastings' law office. At school, Hannah sees Caleb down the hall, and they stare at each other to this like moody, like it's like this really emotional ballady rock music. And this plays later. And you told me a very specific trivia fact about this.
Yes, it is a song by Tyler Blackburn, who plays Caleb.
Yeah, so he's maybe getting those royalty monies too when it was airing back on Freeform. So good for him. And
it was ABC Family at the time.
Oh, right.
We haven't done our Freeform rebrand yet. Don't worry.
No.
It will become a part, not in the show, but like it happens.
Wow, we were a family before, but now I'm feeling that our relationship is much more Freeform.
No, I can't remember if it's a mid-season of 5 or 6 when they come back and it's now Freeform, and it was like a big thing for Freeform's marketing because like
right.
Pretty Little, it was like launched it, I think, aligned with Pretty Little Liars airing to be like,
this is the network for Pretty Little Liars. And so they like notice each other in the hall. Hannah walks over to her locker, and Caleb wanders over to talk. They're kind of awkward, but like, obviously like still like interested in each other. He asks if she's seen Spencer and hands her a note with the login for Maya's website. They longingly but sparingly talk to each other, and then the bell for class breaks the spell, and Caleb goes to class. But then Hannah gets a text from A. The text says, the Apple Rose Grill at closing time. Go alone or Caleb pays. And we see that Hannah is showing Spencer the text at the lunch tables. Spencer wonders if it's from Mona and asks if Wren has said anything about how she's doing. Hannah looks awkward and says, I haven't talked to him. Spencer makes Hannah promise that she won't go to the grill because it's dangerous and like doesn't want to lose any more friends, and Hannah agrees. They see Emily happy with Paige, and they're like, we can't tell her about Maya's website yet. Paige and Emily then walk over, but the two of them act super awkward. Aria walks down the hall in Ezra's complex. Oh, damn. And the Fitzgerald thing really broke my like Fitz Ezra thing. So now I'm starting to write Ezra a lot more.
He's no longer Mr. Fitz.
I know, the Fitzgerald broke the spell because I can't write Fitzgerald. Actually, in the same notes. Well, I'll just read verbatim from my notes coming up here. Aria walks down the hall in Ezra's complex and hears arguing from his apartment. A man comes out as Fitz yells at him. See, back and forth. About turning down an offer. The man asks if this is Aria, and Fitz says, not now, Wes. Wes then leaves, and Fitz says, that's my brother. After the commercial break, Aria asks about what the offer is. Fitz says it's nothing for you to worry about. Aria asks how much your mom offered for you to break up with me. Fitz is like, why would you ask me that? And Aria says, she asked me first. Fitz is taken aback. Aria asks why Wes was here. Fitz says to help get the car back. It was not my car to sell because I had denied my inheritance and it belonged to my grandfather. So it technically wasn't mine to like give away. And so I have to buy it back. And Wes was here to help me get it back. But the guy I sold it to is now charging double. Fitz heads off to go talk to the car guy. Hannah leaves school and gets a call from Wren, but she denies it. Emily chases her down and says, I know you're not telling me something. Hannah says Caleb found a way around the password and explains the website. That it's this like diary for Maya, and there's videos and things, and that they've known for a few days. Emily's super hurt by this and that they kept it from her, and Hannah explains they didn't want to ruin her happiness. Hannah apologizes and hands Emily the login for the website. Hannah offers to look at it with her, but Emily says, I want to do it on my own. Ashley leaves the Hastings law office. She sees Pastor Ted across the street who chases her down to talk to her. He asks her to coffee, and Ashley says yes. Aria explains the Fitz situation to Spencer. Spencer lies clothing options literally on top of her. Spencer is trying to look preppy for the party, but Aria says you're going to a party to meet college people, like not admissions people. Spencer says, thank you for coming with me, Aria. They wonder why Allison never told them about Cece, and the two friends commiserate about weird, intense, rich families, Spencer's and Fitz's. Cece pulls up with Aria and Spencer in her car. I think she's driving a Mustang. She mentions it's weird going back to Rosewood parties, and, also mentions that Jason hasn't returned any of her calls. Aria recognizes the place as Noel Kahn's cabin. Cece goes, oh yeah, Eric did have a little brother. Spencer and Aria talk about weird blood with Noel and about their weird blood with Noel, and Cece pries into it. Spencer then says Aria and him used to date, and Cece's like, well, you probably won't see him. It's a big party. Cece checks in at security and gets a stamp, and they notice it's the eye symbol that Holden and Maya had on their arms. They look around the party, wondering why Maya was hanging with this crowd, and Cece brings them to the game room to meet Steven. Emily watches videos on Maya's website. Jesus Christ, she did it again.
Why do I keep...
That was a hard one. I'm going to angle it this way.
I don't know why I keep elbowing it. Look, the first one already left a mark.
Good God.
Why?
Just going to angle the chair a little bit more.
I'm not allowed to touch my hair
body
anymore.
And, human fallibility, let's try and protect over here. Emily watches videos on Maya's website. She watches one where Maya reads poetry and cries. Cece and the two walk downstairs, and a guy walks over, and we learn it's Eric, Noel's older brother, who creepily calls Spencer and Aria virgin sacrifices that Cece brought. What a charmer. Eric says the only rule of the game room is you have to play to stay. He walks away, and Cece goes to make a drink, and she offers it to the other two and says, no one will rat on you girls. I've seen cops do way worse in this room. Are we talking about Garrett? Are we talking about Weldon? And they both don't take any of the drinks. Cece then challenges Eric to rounds of truth. Just lopping off the dare there. Hannah looks at her text from A and goes to head out. Ashley stops her to have dinner, and Hannah says she was going to the grill, but is like, wait a minute, you only make dinner when you have something to tell me. Ashley's like, no, okay, cops came by this morning, but Spencer's mom is on it. Like, I got Veronica, she'll help us out. She then dismisses Hannah, and Hannah goes off to the grill. Ashley picks up her phone and calls Ted to ask him over for dinner. The truth round continues between Cece and Eric, and Spencer and Aria think it's a mistake that they're here. They see Noel walk downstairs with Jenna, and Aria says we found a reason to stay. They walk over to the two of them. Noel wonders who invited them, and they mention Cece. Aria asks if him and Jenna are back together, and he's like, so many questions. Well, I want answers. Aria then challenges him to a game of truth, and Noel shouts to his brother that they're up next. Hannah waits at the grill as Caleb drives up. She tries to shoo him away, but he's like, I'm the one who sent you to text, get in the car. Hannah asks what, and he's like, I'm A. Cut to a commercial break, and we find out that they have pulled up in front of the sketchy train entrance. Caleb says, it's not sketchy, it's just deserted. Caleb says A can't get us here, and you don't know that. Hannah is mad at him and says, congratulations, you figured out there's another A. This doesn't change anything. Caleb says, you can stop lying and we can be together. Don't you see this? Hannah's like, okay, well, A killed Maya, and they ran your mom off the road. That's why I couldn't tell you anything. This is dangerous stuff we're playing here. Caleb then walks over, touches Hannah's face, but she walks away. Aria and Noel play truth. It's really weird to just read truth, but whatever. Noel probes Aria with questions about Fitz, and Aria deflects them all like super sternly and accurately. And Aria asks about Maya, if Maya ever came to the parties, which she did. How did he know her? He describes her as the hot new girl that's a lesbian and moved into Allison's house so everyone knew Maya. Where were you the night Allison's grave was dug up? Noel says, I don't know, I guess I was here. And Eric vouches for him. They came, they showed, and then left. And he points like at Jenna when he said showed. And Jenna's like, I can see now. Noel says, tell us all who your boyfriend is and what he did for a living. And Jenna says, it's okay, we already know the answer. But then the timer buzzes, so she's off the hook. Aria walks back upstairs and out into the party, and Spencer chases her down. Spencer says, you didn't say anything that could get Vince in trouble, but I have to go back in there to learn what they did that night. Cece catches up and then asks how they're doing and says, you're way prettier than Jenna. I don't know what, he sees at her. Aria, and is like, oh, and Jenna's about to leave now. Spencer then goes back in while Aria waits outside. Aria calls Fitz, but Wes picks up. Fitz is detained at the moment, trying to do stuff with talking to the guy who bought the Jag. Wes takes down a note to pick up Aria and takes down the address. Ashley and Ted enjoy a meal at her house. Ashley gets a call from Rosewood PD, and so she walks inside to talk and yells at Wilden over the phone for targeting Hannah. Jenna talks to Noel and says, I will not be bullied again by Spencer. But Noel's like, there's got to be something you've been dying to ask her. And Spencer walks over, asking if Jenna's leaving, and Noel says, you thought wrong. Emily continues to watch Maya's videos and cries, and then her bedroom door suddenly opens and Paige walks in, surprising her. Spencer and Jenna play truth. Jenna asks about Veronica, representing Garrett. Spencer says, the story you told us about Emily never mentioned Noel was with you. What else did you lie about that night? Jenna asks if Spencer knows what mutually assured destruction is. And you made a promise to me on the day you found out about Emily. Are you going to keep that promise? Spencer says, answer the question. Noel then pipes in that they found her at a diner drunk off her ass. And Spencer catches this inconsistency, saying you told me that you picked her up in the road. Why did you lie, Jenna? Jenna says, I was trying to protect someone. Is that why you lied about your parents' lake house? To which, Spencer is taken aback. And Jenna says, that was rhetorical. Where is the video? Spencer asks, what video? And Jenna says, you know which one. Spencer says, it's safe. I want to know where Allie's body is. And if you tell me, you can have all the videos you want. The timer then goes off and Jenna says, time's up. Wes drives up to Aria's surprise. She gets in, and Wes asks if she minds if they get food on the way home. Caleb and Hannah talk. And
you want to go to Taco Bell?
Exactly. Caleb asks about Maya's website, but Hannah doesn't want to discuss it. Hannah says, this isn't easy for me. I've done stupid and crazy things. Caleb says, you're talking to the guy who kidnapped his own girlfriend. I'm going to have to stop A, and I'm not asking for permission. And then comes over and kisses Hannah, and they make out. Cece and Eric wander the party, and Spencer stops her. Cece's like, what's wrong? I'm so glad to see you. Not. And Spencer's like, you're the only person I know here, and you're my driver. Spencer asks why she was actually brought here. There's no guy from Penn, is there? Cece's like, well, he came into the game room right when you left. I gave him your application, and we had a conversation about how smart you were. Spencer's like, okay, well, can we please go? And Cece says, okay, let's go. Ashley finishes her phone call and sees Ted cleaning up the kitchen. She apologizes for ruining the evening, and it was my divorce lawyer. Ted says, I have one of those too, but they don't call it 9 at night. Ashley then confesses it's a deranged cop coming after Hannah, but I have a good lawyer. Ted's like, well, then she'll be all right then. Were you worried that I would, the other night too, that, I'd judge you for, these sort of things? You don't have to at all. And then they make out. Wes and Aria drive home. Aria says he didn't give Fitz the message, and Wes says, you would have been waiting all night. I'm just here to help. Aria calls him out for the weird family deals and bribes, and Wes says, I know we seem dysfunctional. Aria says, these are real people you're messing with, and Wes says, oh, so you must know about Maggie. He didn't find out until recently, and I didn't even really find out until recently. Ezra gets her pregnant, wants to do the right thing, and then our mom shows up, and whoosh, there goes the problem. Wes sees Aria's shock and is like, oh, he didn't tell you that, did he? And Aria says, no, he didn't. Emily talks to Paige in her room and says, I just found out about this website recently, like gives her the whole backstory on it. Paige tells her a story about a home video that she found of her grandpa who had passed away and found that watching it like really helped her make her feel better. She then moves over and embraces Emily. Fitz comes home and Aria surprises him in the hallway. Aria says, Wes told me about Maggie. He then invites her inside and Aria says, I need to know what happened. Fitz is mad that Wes told her and Aria says, he thought we were people that told each other these things. I need to know the truth. Fitz pauses and Aria goes to leave, but then Fitz runs after her, tells her the story that he got Maggie pregnant the summer after high school. They were scared, didn't know what to do, and he went to his mom for help. His mom offered Maggie money, which meant that if she took the money, that she had conditions, which meant no longer speaking to Fitz again. And Fitz transferred away from Vassar, which is where he was going to go, to Hollis, a little farther from home. The same moody pop rock song plays as Spencer looks around her room. She gets her phone out and calls Toby and leaves a message saying she misses him and is worried about him and misses him. Spencer's computer goes off with a notification. She opens her email with a message from Penn saying her early admission is received. The A scene. We see a name placard on a desk for Mrs. Pillsbury. This is in an office where there's lots of cat memorabilia and cat pictures. The woman on the other side of the desk then goes to get something out of the cabinet. She says, you'll love the unit. And goes, let's see, which unit were you looking at? Oh, right, A. And then pulls up a key with an A on it and goes, let's go see it. The end.
Okay. Why is Cece helping Spencer?
Yeah. Double dealing. There's something going on with Cece.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like way too familiar with like the people at the party for it to be like a coincidence or that she's like new around town. Before this episode, I was under the impression that she didn't live in Rosewood originally. But then they talk all about like that she's like, oh yeah, like coming back to see like Rosewood, like all these people from high school and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what her angle is yet though, but you don't.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. You leave your hometown, right? You're like glad to get out and then you have to go back. Aren't you going to menace a little?
I mean, why not? You got to make the best of it.
If I had to move back in with my parents, I would go into a villain era. Like there's no doubt in my mind.
And just torturing these high school girls.
Yeah. And anyone really who crossed my path.
Right. And the weirdest thing on top of it too, the Steven thing is obviously bullshit. So like, Spencer, you got to check where that like pen letter came from.
It said the university in the email.
What was the subject line? I've had fishing training at
honey, the year 2011, 2012.
There's fishing going on.
Yeah, there was fishing, but it wasn't that sophisticated.
I mean, where was the email address was from? So I don't know. Maybe it is legit, but what? I don't know. Was she intentionally trying to get them in front of Noel and Jenna? Cece doesn't seem. She seems familiar with people, but not that involved. Like Eric is surprised she's there, and then it's just like, oh, it's right back to me being gross. Yeah, just the grossest epitome of a jock. Mm-hmm. Makes Noel even look respectable in comparison, and. It's like, did she just want to get them there to have them be in front of like
Noel and Jenna?
Yeah, because that's the only thing that really happens there. Because I don't know why else she would actually want to bring them.
Maybe she wants them to solve Allie's murder.
Oh, that's
She's
true.
Friends with her.
That's true. She could be trying to push that forward. It could be, I guess, non-nefarious, like good non-nefarious things.
Well, and people's reasons may not be good, but they,
No.
They may have been well-intentioned.
Mm-hmm. Right. But she's very good at manipulating them. This is exactly how Allie acted.
Uh-huh. Wes, what's his angle? Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell, especially when he drives to pick her up. Is this like he's trying to like he does seem at first I thought he was going to be similar to a Kahn brother when he like exits out of like, oh, this is Aria. But like it seemed like he is actually trying to help Fitz. So he might just be like trying to be a helpful dude, but I don't know what the like action is by like going to pick up Aria himself, because that's like a weird thing to do.
So that she wasn't waiting.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess pure at the moment, but the whole thing with the Jag is elliptical. They don't really like, what was the deal that Wes offered Fitz, or was that his mom? Is he just like
I think he was being the liaison for the mom, is what Ezra was saying.
So he's kind of like this medium,
like just take the money from mom,
right? So he's just being like this gopher. I guess he's maybe just trying to like make the peace, and trying to like be like close to his brother and like his mom. So yeah,
like a team, Wes.
Exactly. I mean, right? Exactly. He's just kind of in the middle, I guess. So it's not. I didn't really get any bad vibes from him.
Okay. Should Emily be watching these videos alone?
No, definitely not. Like, well, I mean, you know, it's up to her, whatever she wants to do. But I mean, with a friend might help. But it could be cathartic, I guess. Like, just it's a weird way for her to also interface with it, of like this weird website she didn't know about, and like also having to deal with this person that she knew less than she thought because of all these like secrets that they're like digging up about her. Like one being that there's this website with videos that of me and us. We don't really like linger on that at all.
Well, I think people had websites then. Remember, like,
but this is like non-advertised. Like Emily didn't know about it.
Yeah, it was like a personal blog
that you wouldn't tell people about.
Yeah, I feel like people had those.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
maybe nobody just told me about theirs. But
I don't think a lot of people, you know what I mean? But that didn't seem super odd to me.
Okay. Well, I guess like not that it's, well, okay. That's
because it's password protected.
It does seem odd to me, mostly because it's like, oh, is there going to be some revelation drop about this? But not the odd thing is mostly that Emily didn't know about it, and there's like all these like. I was speaking more to the emotional aspect of like Emily going through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Emily's really going through it.
The con men use stamps for their house parties. How sophisticated are these house parties?
It's a rotating party. So I thought this was only at their place this time, because Holden had mentioned in a different one that like this is a underground thing and these like parties rotate.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was just at this. It was just at this cabin. This is probably one of the many locations. And as we see, this cabin is not used elsewhere because they don't pick up shit from this cabin. So like they really don't care about leaving it like disheveled. So it must just be like the party cabin.
Or their cleaners just haven't come yet.
Oh, right. But I mean, like how many, I guess it's only been a day, maybe. I mean, but still for it to be just completely emptied and no one there. It's probably been a few days actually. During the next episode, but yeah, no, these parties are sophisticated. This is an underground network.
And then we have
of Lemony Snicket tattoos.
Yes, and then we have the game of truth or dare, but truth,
just truth,
or just dare.
Right, I guess
they allude to the time Cece made him steal a car.
Right, and then called the cops on him. Which you know that. Great.
I mean, if you're going to make a dumb game, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Grade A. The Aria, again, like, as we mentioned up earlier, like, she just crushes it. Like, she is perfect. If she was on the stand, like, Fitz would maybe get off. Because she's just like, it's just like, oh, what did he do for a living? Or like,
where'd you meet him? I met him at a bar.
Did you sleep with your teacher? No. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
She didn't sleep with him when he was a teacher.
No. And then, yeah, it helped reinforce that my idea that Noel is the dummy of like the thing, because he speaks up during Jenna's Game of Truth. Of like, whoa, we found her at a diner, and it's just like, shut up, you're not playing truth.
Or did he think that information was important to give to Spencer? What's Khan's angle? We can talk about this more in the next episode too, because
I think he thinks he's getting himself exonerated.
Fair.
And I don't think he's as smart as he thinks he is.
Fair.
So I don't think he was trying to feed Spencer that. But there is a way that you can read it that he has more of a game plan because he pushes Jenna into the truth game. But I also think like Noel's the type of person's like, we don't back down, babe. So I'm
just grateful I didn't go to college with Noel.
So that's my opinion on that. And then I did notice too, because again they could be together but also duplicitous, because Jenna alludes to Spencer about like not sharing the secret. Because I was like, what was the secret again? It was just like, oh, not mentioning that Jenna could see longer than she had let on. And I think that was directed at Noel in the room. I don't think Noel knew how long she could see.
Well, I mean, just everyone. Like, if that got out.
That's true. Yeah.
They have witnesses.
But I was assuming also Noel didn't know about that.
But he was with her when she was still pretending to be blind when she drove Emily.
Right. Oh, was she still pretending to be blind then? Oh, that never mind. That falls apart then.
Do we think...
I guess that was like... Yeah, because Emily is beginning of the season and Jenna is still pretending to be blind.
Okay. Apologies for my cough there. I hope it wasn't into the microphone.
Totally fine. If you leave any mean comments about this cough,
it won't go away.
Well, I'll just remove the comment. But
does Jenna know where Allie's body is? Or like, cause she was saved by the bell, but does she know where Allie's body is?
I bet she does. I did. This is part of the Jenna network of shit.
The Jenna network of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jenna network of shit. No, I do think it's one of the MLM tendrils of one of her 3 friends that got 3 other friends. I think Jenna's at the top of quite the big pyramid.
But her boss babe Mona's in Radley. Right,
but that's only one of her boss babes. That's why you have all these other streams of revenue. That's or menacery.
You're downstream.
Menacery? I can't do it. It's all right.
Miscreants, I guess.
Miscreants. That's a good one. Yeah. Crew of miscreants.
Let's talk about Caleb and Hannah really quick. Why does Hannah take off her jacket while they're making out outside? I can't. It's one of those things that's like,
because it got so hot.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, I've never made out outdoors to the point where it's gotten so hot that I threw my leather jacket on the dirty ground. I don't care how young you are. You don't put your nice clothes on the dirty ground.
She grew up with a lot of money,
but she doesn't always have it.
Right. I guess that's true. That's true. And she is new on the fashion train ish. It's within the past few years.
Yeah, she's always up to date, so that's got to be a new jacket. When
these character inconsistencies we just can't stand behind.
What do we think about Caleb kidnapping Hannah?
It's very funny.
It's so funny.
It is very good one. Especially where he's just like, you're talking about the guy that kidnapped his girlfriend.
And it's like, she got in the car willing.
Right? He's like, all right, let's calm down here, Caleb. I think that's a great tactic. Or he's just like, oh, like, I'm just going to pretend to be
send an A text.
Right. I know how to block numbers.
Watch, Caleb forgets to block his number.
Right. From Caleb. This is A. She's like, I know who you are. But it's so annoying in the next episode too. They're still playing this like, I can't be with you.
Well, because they're pretending because they don't want A to kill Caleb's family.
Right.
They did run his mom off the road in Montecito. They flew out of that Montecito airport that doesn't exist, or if you do, it's private.
A is truly global, nationwide. Right. So they have to pretend, but I'm sure A, with all of their infinite wisdom, saw them making out or something.
Why'd they pick Montecito and not just Santa Barbara? It had to be like rich.
I mean, look at all the stuff that Caleb's getting. Mm-hmm. Like we talked last episode. I don't know. It's funny. Maybe someone really liked Montecito.
Having lived there, like we lived in Santa Barbara, we didn't live in Montecito.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It's just so funny. I'm like,
do you think? Who's the creator of this? King?
Marlene?
Yeah, Marlene. Do you think Marlene has a house in Montecito?
Maybe. She probably does after this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about our newest Ezria plot line of Maggie.
They just gotta, there's gotta always be something, connected to Fitz.
That's past.
And his past is always have to do with like a woman.
What do you think's going to happen with Maggie?
I think Maggie's going to show back up. And what do I think happened with Maggie?
No, what do you think's going to happen with Maggie? We know what happened with Maggie. They told us.
Right. Well, she got sent away, but that's
well, and
do you think so? We assumed that Maggie kept the baby.
I thought they were saying that by saying that their mom took care of it,
that she got an abortion.
Yeah, because that's how they always referred to it where I grew up.
I assumed that that's true. But there's also like
we're gonna take care of it. And I was like, we can say abortion. It's not a dirty word. We're very pro it.
But Maggie didn't stay around. Maggie went away.
Yeah, because she had to. That was part of taking the money.
Right. So I guess never to talk about the abortion.
Or to talk about Ezra.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
The whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I mean,
but I guess I don't know. Do you think she had the abortion?
See, yeah. Is there going to be the little Ezra that lives in Delaware? Potentially. That's what I was like wondering going with it. That was going to be like one of mine. It's just like, oh, okay. They just sent her away with the like this pregnant girl like off to Delaware. Where do you think her family went to? I digress. Like pay for you all to move.
Imagine that much.
Yeah, the Fitzgeralds being like either it's Delaware or the Atlantic. And well, it's gonna show back up, and Aria's gonna keep prying on this, and it's gonna cause this like rift between them, and then you eventually, Aria's gonna find out like the other shoe of this, like learn more from Maggie and get like mad at Fitz over things, and that'll like split them apart for a little while. That's how I'm assuming this is going.
Okay. Then
Mama Fitzgerald getting mad that they're like digging this up.
What do we think will happen with Hannah and the bracelet?
Oh, Hannah's gonna do something stupid that like they're like. Even though her blood's not on the bracelet, they're going to do something that fucks it up, even though it could potentially get her like off the hook. And they're going to find out later. And it's going to be like not quite the same thing as a Garrett situation where they accidentally got Garrett off. It'll be something that like messes up the proceedings.
And last but not least, who's in Unit A?
Oh, A.
Oh, okay. Who's
where is Unit A?
Yeah.
What is Unit A?
What's going on there?
I mean, like, is it just like someone's new hideout? It's a new hideout that's going to be
new layer.
New layer. That's what I'm assuming for that one. Is that they're like renting a place or purchasing a place to like hang up their stuff.
Well, it's nice to have a new home.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who's in Unit A? I was like almost thinking if it wasn't actually A. Well, I mean, I guess Jason could be A. So I was like, oh, I wonder if this is Jason setting up shop somewhere. Because we don't know what he's doing. But, or it could be Toby staking out somewhere in Unit A. Anybody else? No. Yeah.
All right.
Those are my two guesses. Or it's A, so then it's a new A layer from my list of suspects.
All right. Next episode.
Okay. Episode 57, Season 3, Episode 10, What Lies Beneath. Ashley and Hannah look over a very large plant that was accidentally sent to them. Ashley goes in to answer the phone, and Hannah starts moving around pots so they can move it, and notices that there's a note hidden under one of the pots. Hannah reads the note to the friends. It's addressed to Emily from Maya, saying that they're sorry there's been a disconnect between them, but she has something to show her. Don't text her. Someone stole her phone. And there's an address that was listed on there, but it's like blurry and kind of like worn down. Like this note looks like it's been there for a while. Aria sees a date in the top right corner, and they see that she wrote it the day that she died. We see Aria at Fitz's apartment putting cream cheese on bagels as Fitz wakes up. She asks how much you'd have to pay someone to make them fall off the face of the earth. Fitz is like, are we talking about Maggie? I don't know. Aria says, you never asked her? Fitz says she never answered anything, any of my calls or emails when I reached out. Aria says, why didn't you tell me about her when you told me about Jackie? He says, it took you a while to tell me about A and Jenna. And Aria's like, that's completely different. Like, I can't believe you'd like try and throw that in my face. And then they're both mad at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah looks through Maya's website at the brew while she's getting coffee with Emily. Emily walks away to go like get something, and then Wren walks over to talk to Hannah. He's like, well, I can't do his voice. Never mind. I haven't seen you haven't been by to see Mona lately. Let me know when you will be like swinging by next and we'll get coffee. Hannah says, what happened the other day? And Wren cuts off. He's like, yes, what happened the other day? I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, and not much else either. And then Hannah's like, it can't happen again. So, I'm Spencer's friend, and, Caleb and I, it's too soon. Wren says, well, don't be sorry, but if you need me, I'll be around. Never the groom.
Well, maybe if you stop dating high schoolers, he's just striking out.
Shut down by... Just getting shut down by all the high schoolers at Rosewood.
Well, he won't even leave a friend group.
Maybe Aria's available. Spencer leaves school and sees Emily sitting outside reading the note. Spencer walks up and asks to talk to her and asks about the boathouse, and maybe Maya wanted her to go meet her there. Emily says, I don't know what we'd even be looking for. Emily then asks about Toby, and Spencer's like, oh, I got a call from him. He's waiting on a permit for the loft, so he's taking a job in a county, a county over. Spencer freaks out over A and her life feeling crazy and just all this stuff. It's awful. Paige then walks up. We're going to get American Eagle, an eagle and an American flag tank top that's live free or ride free or something. And she's like, hey, Emily, I'm going to go talk to the swim coach in her office. And Emily's like, maybe you'll be made the relay, the last leg of anchor of the relay. And they're all excited and she goes off. Aria closes her locker and looks at her phone with Fitz's contact and is mad. Ella and her boyfriend Zach have a date in the classroom.
Well, he's not her boyfriend yet.
No, right. The man that she's seeing.
One of the men she's seeing.
Yes. Is having a date in her classroom. Not sure why they chose school grounds for this.
Teachers can't have lunch dates?
I guess not. It seemed like it was after school. Maybe I was wrong.
I don't know.
They kiss as Aria walks in and interrupts them. Ella then introduces Zach to Aria, and Aria is awkward and shocked. And Zach is like, well, okay, I'm going to leave, and goes and leaves when it's awkward. Aria's like, you didn't mention how different he was. I don't have a problem with his age, but Mom, did you tell him yours? And Ella's like, we've been very honest, and we'll talk about this after school. And Aria's freaked out and leaves. Hannah looks through photos of Maya, printed out photos of Maya as Emily comes in, and Emily's like, what the hell are you doing? This looks like you were her girlfriend. And Hannah's like, no, these are photos from Maya's website. And when you blow them up like this, you can see more details. And she's like, I think I'm onto something. And Hannah confesses that Caleb knows about A and that she told him everything. And Emily's like, oh, so you two are just pretending not to be together? And Hannah says, yes, it sucks. We have to figure out who A is first so then we can be safe. Emily notices the most recent pictures of Maya and they're outside a cabin. But when she puts them together, she sees that the background forms the sign for the Kahn Cabin. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer talks to both of them on the phone and gets the details about the cabin and asks why she was there during the day. The pictures were during the day. Why she was at the cabin during the day when the parties were at night. Hannah says she's in her pajamas, so she probably stayed over, and then much to Emily's chagrin. Spencer says, I'll call you back, and goes up to Noel at school. She's like, you lied to me. I know Maya wasn't a random guest at your party. Was she a friend? Noel says, we had a texting relationship. I hooked her up with weed sometimes. Spencer asked if it was before or after he started sneaking around with Jenna. And Noel says, it's hot of you to think I'm capable of murder. Nate walks into the brew as Emily is working. He says, Maya's old band that she jammed with is in town. Do you want to go see him? Nate sees Jenna and Noel together and says, that's the guy she ditched me for. Noel then leaves and Nate goes over to talk to Jenna. Nate is like, I have a gift I never got to give to you because you blew me off. Jenna's like, well, I can't take it from you. And Nate says, I insist. Should I swing by your place or is here good? And just continually gets in her face. And Jenna stands up and sternly tells him to back off. And then he storms off in a huff. Spencer leaves school and gets a text from Emily. Noel's headed to practice. Opportunity knocks. She turns around. Spencer then turns around and goes back inside the school. Ella stops Aria to walk home together, and they have to, and she mentions they have to leave now because she has a coffee date. She's not sure who it's with, though, from the dating website. And Aria's like, wait, it's not like serious with Zach? And Ella's like, he probably has lots of girls stopping by the coffee shop as well. Aria says, maybe you should slow down on all the dates. Ella says, I've broken ththrough the wall of not dating, so now I'm sifting through all the frogs to find my prince. Paige goes to see Emily and says she's not allowed to swim anymore because she got a C on a test, which puts her grade average down. Murmur. Emily comforts her but invites Paige over tomorrow.
Yeah, they have to be average to be on the swim team.
I know, that's like pretty wild. Spencer sees the boys' sports ball team run by, and she runs inside the locker room to investigate. She finds Noel's locker and picks the lock, finds his phone, but hears guys coming back in, so she hides in the back as two dudes comes in and she ducks down. Emily and Hannah arrive at the gated cabin and go searching in the party remnants, like looking around on the grounds. They hear a crunch behind them, and they're like, who is that? And we can see that there's a security camera perched above them as they go inside the cabin. Spencer looks through Noel's phone for anything from Maya and gets no results. She puts it back in and closes the locker as Noel comes back in with the team, and he's just like, what are you doing here? Can I help you? Spencer runs off and he checks his locker, but doesn't seem like all that suspicious, and is just like, oh, nothing's like gone, and closes it. Emily and Hannah continue to look around the cabin destroyed by the party. Fitz and Aria are like studying and working in the brew, and Zach sees Aria is kind of like smiling and nodding, and Fitz is like, you should go say hi to him. He's like, staring at you, and Aria eventually does. He apologizes for her walking in on him and Ella, and Aria says, yeah, I'm not used to seeing my mom kiss anyone but my dad. Zach says, I get how you feel. When my mom's got divorced, I felt the same way about my mom, like, didn't want anybody near. But he mentions that he's enjoying seeing Ella and like, how nice that is, and also divulges that he's only seeing her. Aria says, that's great. And like she feels the same way. And if you try and hurt her, I will crush you. And he's like, agreed.
No, she's starting to crush his scones.
Oh, his scones. That's what it was.
Uh-huh.
I had heard skull. And I was like, okay, Aria getting violent. Fine.
That's so out of pocket.
I was like, you know what? She's just trying to rattle him.
No, I love it.
Hannah and Emily look around the cabin. Hannah sees a door and goes in to follow it. It's another...
Makes that scene so different.
Yeah. I will crush your skull. And he's like, yep, you're scary. And in the door that she opened up in the room, there's like a shelf with a bunch of games on it, and she sees there's a door behind it, and so she like slides it over, and they find like a storage room where it looks like someone was staying. There's like sheets and a pillow on the ground. Hannah then finds Maya's bag in one of the chests. They look through it, and Hannah finds a pocket knife with the engravings LJ on it. Hannah then also finds a card that was from Emily to Allison on her 14th birthday. Hannah finds a one-way ticket in the bag, meaning bus ticket in the bag, meaning that Maya never left. Suddenly, the door slams to the room and locks, and they can't get out, and then all the window shutters slam. They continue to shout, asking who's out there, and if it's Noel, it's not funny, as Emily grabs like a spear, like a fishing spear, in the room. Spencer gets a new email from a blocked address, and the subject line says, is this what you were looking for? And the body says, stay out of my locker, in all caps, with an attached video from April 12th that starts at, it's a security cam footage of the outside of the cabin, and starting at 9:30 p.m. on April 12th. Spencer pulls up her photos of her mom's briefing and finds that Maya was killed on April 12th between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Spencer calls someone and leaves a message saying, I think Noel Kahn sent me the security cam footage from the night Maya died. Ella and Aria walk home from yoga, and Aria says, I don't know why you're seeing other guys. Zach seems great. He's like, only got eyes for you. Ella is happy about this, but upset Aria said she was also into him in the same way. She wants to take things slow at her own pace, because like your father and I really didn't know a lot of things about each other when we got married.
Uh-huh.
It's gotten dark at the cabin, and Emily finds there's no reception. She then breaks a window trying to open the shutter, but they're locked in. Hannah tries to pry it open, but then cuts her leg. Emily then goes beast mode and breaks.
She stabs herself.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ.
Never point a knife towards yourself. Never cut towards you.
Is that what it is? That she's like trying to like pry it open with the knife, and then goes.
So.
Okay, I didn't quite figure out. I was just like, well, she stabbed her leg, but. then Emily goes beast mode on it and breaks the shutters and the glass, like the wooden shutters, and they escape the cabin and find a message spray painted on the shutters on the front that says, "I'm saving you for later," that's signed from A. They arrive home at Hannah's house. Hannah doesn't want to go to the hospital because then she'd have to tell her mom how it happened, and Emily calls someone to try and fix this. We then see that Hannah and Wren are alone in the kitchen. Emily, why'd you leave? Stay. Throw some fucking ice on this. Some cold water on the two of them. And Wren stitches Hannah up on her kitchen counter and grills her about how she got it and why she didn't go to the hospital. And Hannah dodges all the questions, and then he eventually stops. Wren says you can't take the antibiotics on an empty stomach and forges the fridge to make them dinner. Yeah. Emily comes home to Nate on her porch. He apologizes for the way he acted earlier. He said he never behaved that way before. It had nothing to do with Jenna, and he thinks that losing Maya had more of an effect on him than he realized. Emily sits next to him and says this bag is Maya's and explains that she saw these pictures from an old email account that they followed to a cabin where I think she was staying when she died. Nate recognizes a scarf in the bag and cries. The two embrace and then start making out. Paige then rounds the corner, sees them from a distance, and then turns and leaves. She angrily throws away the food she was bringing over into a trash can and then pushes the trash can over. Emily and Nate stop kissing, and he says, "I've wanted to kiss you for a while." Yeah, you've made that abundantly clear. Emily gets a text from Paige saying she's not feeling well and we'll see her another time. It's really just like Charlie Brown in the football with Paige and Emily.
I feel so bad for Paige, but also they don't give that woman any favors.
No, and every time Paige gets close, the football. Oh, suddenly. Aria and Fitz watch TV. He gets up and says he's tired. Can we finish this movie up another night? Aria says, "Are we still fighting? I'm sorry for the way I acted this morning. I shouldn't have pushed you on your past this much." Fitz says, "I found Maggie. She's in Delaware, but I haven't called her yet."
I don't get why he's so pissy.
I know. He's so mad.
He's so pissy.
You just be open now.
Yeah, you got caught.
It's tough. It's a tough thing to have to deal with. And it was a horrible thing that happened in your past, but now you can be open with your partner.
Mm-hmm. That's why I married you and not Fitz.
Yeah. Thank you. Spencer watches the camera footage, waiting for anything to happen. She then sees Maya ride up on a bicycle. Aria runs in after the commercial break and says, "Why would Noel give you this video?" As it says, "Look at this and look at Garrett's case file. Witnesses put Garrett and Maya in his car at 9 p.m. and the video that we're looking at now is at 10:04. It means that Garrett wasn't the last person to see Maya alive." Zach closes up as Ella walks in. Ella comes clean on dating other people and asks if he was dating other people as well. He says, "No, just you." But he doesn't mind, if you need to date around after your divorce, I completely understand that. And she's like, "I just didn't think that I would meet someone this quick." They cheers their glasses and kiss. Wren and Hannah finish dinner. He helps her put her leg up on the bar stools and leans in close, you gonna kiss me? And then she's like, "You should leave. It's late." And he looks sad. And it says, "You really save it. You really saved me this time." And Wren says, "Anytime," and goes. Emily catches Paige in the girls' locker room and asks if she's doing better. Paige says, "I'm all right. It was just like a 24-hour bug." "How was your night, Emily?" Emily says, "Nate came by and he was a total mess." Paige says, "What did you guys do?" Emily says, "Talk mostly." And Paige is like, "Mostly?" They are then interrupted by the coach. The other three friends watch the security camera footage and they see Noel arrive at 1:14 a.m. with Jenna. Jenna and Noel kiss and then the two enter the cabin. We see Maya leave from around the side and look toward the cabin, but we see a shadow appear behind her as she's yanked off camera. The A scene. In an apartment, in an apartment, a TV is playing with the news on, and it's a story about Garrett's trial coming up. A sorts through their hoodies on a hanger, and then A changes the channel to Wheel of Fortune. Fair enough.
Honestly, same.
Yeah, A's like, I already know the what's going on.
Okay, why did Maya want to talk to Emily?
What?
Why? Why did Maya want to talk to Emily?
I think Maya wanted to talk to Emily about that it's related to Allison's murder. This goes all the way to the top.
Okay.
The mayor. No, but I think it's related.
The mayor.
No, maybe the principal. I think Maya knows more about Allison's murder than she lets on, and I think she's more connected, like I've said in the past, to Allison than she's like previously disclosed. I guess she could have kept that card as like this weird sentimental object, like of like, wow, this is when Emily first, or like this is when Emily first like professed feelings in like written form.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
And was Maya like love interest of Allie's at some point or something? That's like
that's so scandalous.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's something connected there. So I think she was trying to loop Emily in on things because she was seeing that things were going haywire, like her phone getting stolen. And why she like had to leave her house. Well, I mean, she left her house because she was going to get sent back to wilderness camp, but
at least that's what she told us.
That's true.
And that's what her parents confirm.
Yeah, we haven't met her parents at all, so we don't know.
Why is Wren dating high schoolers?
I know, you're a goddamn doctor. Like,
he's so charming and he could be such a fun character, but why did they make him? They either needed to make him younger. Mm-hmm. He needed to be like a fresh grad, first year medical student, like first year in college interning as a medical student. You know what I mean? Like they needed to do some sort of like fictional. Why are they realistic about this but not anything else?
Well, also like Wren's like how far he is like in his like career for someone that's probably like 23, 24. Yeah. It's just like, wait, he's like Doogie Howser like in terms of like actually being able to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. But yes, he is a very charming character. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, where he's just like, well, you need like food with your antibiotics. And you go, ha ha ha, yes, you're so charming. But then it's just like, get away from the 17-year-old, you creep.
Get away from the child.
Yeah. And you just go from one child to the next.
Yeah, he's a predator.
But he's never chosen, which is the most hilarious part of it. He's always turned down.
He is.
But it's, gross. I guess Melissa dodged a bullet.
What is the Maya Noel connection? Is he just selling her dime bags and letting her stay at the cabin?
No, it's like connected to the parties. And I think Maya knew. So she knows more about this like A operation. I think she was even maybe like running stuff for them for a short time. And so was connected. But like and met people through like the parties.
Okay.
That's what I think what it is that she's connected somehow. It literally did work for him.
Who locked Hannah and Emily into the cabin?
Yeah, because I could see it being Noel.
Mm-hmm. But why would he sign the note from A?
Right. Well, because it's part of the hierarchy.
Oh, I forgot that he's in the MLM.
Yes, exactly. I could see him. I mean, we're not quite at like Ring doorbells at this point, but like being able to like notice that someone tripped the alarm or like came through.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it could be A messing with them. And like really trying to scare them. So I could see it being a number of people. But all connected to I think they saw like the security cam like go off, like pretty much like something was triggered and they're like, okay, time to go mess with them.
Fair enough. Who's LJ?
Yeah, that's like a really that was like a fun wrinkle to like throw in there because it's like this new thing. It's just like,
Lady Bird Johnson.
That's right. You got it. I'm thinking maybe potentially Maya's first love.
Oh.
Someone who had given her this gift and she held on to it for forever. But who is LJ? This could also be like wrapping back around to my theory on like her connection to Allison. That could have been like a fake name that Allison gave her or something. And
Lillian Shark Bloom. That's all I got for you.
That's right. Wow, Lillian Jarkbloom, what a pretty name. My guess is her first significant love or something like that that like got broke up. So I thought it was like a very sentimental piece for her to carry around, because why else is she carrying this around?
Sometimes you just need to go stab.
Right. Yeah, I think with the carvings in it, it seems
sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
Ella's just trying to have a good a good time, and Aria's like, Mom, you slooting it up.
Let your mother date.
Yeah. If Ella wants to date every man in that town, she's earned it.
Mm-hmm.
She can.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, who's willing and single.
Right.
With consent. Ella, you have to get
She's
consent.
forcing people by gunpoint to go on dates.
Get in the cabin.
Hey, hold up there.
It's like the day I came to you in the morning with my finger guns for my coffee.
Exactly. And I didn't blink.
Put the caffeine in the cup. Yeah, you did not look phased at all.
But I mean, that's weird for Aria. I understand.
It's awkward.
But then they do the same thing with the age gap, and I just don't understand it. But it's weird thinking that your mom is like, it's
dating.
Like, yeah, I want you to be happy, Mom. It's like, well, okay, well, me and my friends date. Like, you're my mom. Like,
maybe it's because Ella was dating better than they were.
Yes, Ella is. It seems like she's in a much healthier place doing it too.
Why wouldn't Hannah have just told Caleb or gone to the hospital with this stab wound?
Yeah. Why do we have to do this?
I tripped and fell on a knife.
She kind of, like you were saying, she kind of did. She could have been like, we were like doing something in the kitchen and like I knocked the knives over and they like stabbed. Like she could have come up with so many things, and yet we have to call in.
Her carrot excuse even works. Like if you go to a hospital.
What?
Because she was like, "Oh, I was cutting a carrot." Like that's what she tells Wren. Like that would have worked in a hospital.
They would have been like, "Oh, okay." Like, well, that sucks. They're not going to press you on it. And I mean, I guess Ashley might like pick up on it because Ashley can tell when she lies, as we know.
But can she?
Not really. Like yes and no. It kind of goes on and off. But why not? Why do you not call Caleb? I guess you think like that A would be able to, since A like trapped them, that A would still like be able to figure it out. I guess that would be the logic there. But
yeah, fair enough. Why is Emily kissing Nate?
Yeah, it's an unfortunate scene.
And then also,
there's no indications that she was ever like interested in him. He's made all sorts of indications, and we've been like, "No, pump the brakes, dude. Get out of here."
But
you're the worst.
She definitely kisses back.
She definitely does. Like I thought, like he was gonna try and kiss her, and she was gonna be like, "No, whoa." But no, she's definitely into it, and it's just like, this is only gonna end bad. And Paige doesn't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. But
what's Paige gonna do with this information?
I think she's gonna like try and passive aggressively get back at Emily, and like act out in like some weird way of like trying to get one over on her. She's not gonna confront her about this, like at least not like just like coming up to her and being like, "Hey, I saw you two kissing." Exactly. She's gonna do something, like I said, roundabout and passive aggressive.
That's Paige's motto.
Like I said, it's just like, ooh, you almost got there, and then just. Ripped you out. Really sucks for Paige. Poor Paige. But I think that we're gonna get more of the shoe drop then on Nate being a weirdo creep. Because I think if Emily's gonna be like, I don't want to do this anymore, he's gonna react really negatively. And I think that's where we're going with that, of getting this creepy guy, and then maybe Paige will come in and save her.
Oh,
yeah. Good. Give Paige, something exciting to do, where she's not just being constantly put out.
Who took Maya?
Oh, like grabbing from the bushes. So if like Noel and Jenna are in the cabin,
Garrett's in jail already.
Oh, at 1:30?
Yeah, because he was arrested at midnight. Remember, at Spencer's house, she tells us that.
Right, for Allison's murder. So then, yeah, who does grab Maya? Like who we still have Melissa in play. We still have Lucas in play. we don't know what Cece was up to before then. I don't know. Noel's inside, so he can't be that. And trying to think who else on our menace list that I'm like missing. Mona's locked up. They're getting locked up, right?
Already, because this is
because Maya. They find out that Maya's dead on the same night that they capture Mona.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's in that same season finale.
Really?
But then they find Maya's body at Emily's. It's at the end of that episode that they find out about Maya's body. Right?
I don't.
Or is there a time gap in between
like
Mona?
Mona. Oh no. Mona goes to. We already have forgotten. Mona gets taken. Maya's missing, but I don't think we know that she's dead yet when Mona goes to.
Right,
Bradley.
we don't know that. But then she just gets locked up in prison. But then I don't know if it's like a few days later. I thought it was like the same day. Same night, I should say.
Does Maya die? What episode?
Yeah, and because Mona says like...
Yeah, it is the same. You're right.
Yeah. So Mona's locked up. So Mona obviously knew something happened. So like Mona... Or doesn't, I guess she didn't have to necessarily know. So I guess like our options are Lucas, Melissa, unseen other people potentially like shot in the dark at like Cece. But my money would probably be more on the Melissa and Lucas than anything else.
Fair enough.
But so then like I think whoever grabs Maya, I think then leads her to like go along with Jenna and Noel.
Okay.
I think they go into the house and then Maya's grabbed. I think they know that Maya's there is what I'm saying. I think that what like Noel's intention of sending this video
is to make sure we know that it's not him.
Exactly.
Okay.
And because I'm not missing anybody else, am I?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Also, Ace Choice in television. You know what? Same.
Yeah.
Why would you watch the news when you can watch Wheel of Fortune?
And when they already know about like the news, like they don't need to learn more about this case. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, yeah, but I'm more of Jeopardy, but I mean that comes on after Wheel of Fortune anyway. So you got to watch what you got to watch. Exactly.
Well, those are my questions for you. So do you want to take us to your corner of theories?
We're gonna rock down to, Corner Avenue. Bum, bum, bum. And then I'll see you there. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Theory Corner. This is Brenton's Theory Corner. We got a nice little, we got upbeat music into going into this one. So there's not too many other wrinkles. I think I would like to throw on those like what I think Noel is doing is like trying to protect himself, but I think he thinks he's smarter than he actually is doing it.
Most white men do.
Yeah, I think Jenna would be furious that he's giving Spencer Hastings more fuel, even if he's like, babe, this is just gonna get us off. Like this shows that we're innocent. No, not the type of guy I say, babe.
I like that you've done that.
And I think Jenna is just like smarter in that like you give them nothing, and then we'll be able to like elude them. And I think Noel is partially doing that because he does at least realize that like Jenna could throw him under the bus at any time, but he thinks he can get one over on her more than like would actually happen because Jenna is very resourceful. And she got a cop arrested. And so I think what's also interesting is the mention by Cece of seeing cops do worse things there. I'm like, is this my opening that like Wilden is finally going to come into play here? Oh, there you go. There's another person. Wilden could potentially like have grabbed her there. Wilden could potentially be a killer, which I like that idea. I don't think he's but I was wondering if like the Cece's cabin, or not Cece's cabin, the Kahn cabin potentially was Garrett or Wilton there. Definitely probably Garrett at the very least, because he was with Jenna, and Jenna seems to be a regular here. But I think it was very telling when she's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen cops do worse stuff here."
I like it.
It's like, what cops do we know? But I do think that if we're gonna go with A's, it'd be like Melissa or Jenna. Jenna for the same reasons of like way too involved with too much shit. Yeah, just so like you got to throw her on there. Yeah, exactly. You can't like not include her on that list. And Melissa, because suspiciously absent, really good liar, and also thinks that she can always outmaneuver her sister. And we know that she's very good at lying. What else? I do think we've talked about Maya being connected to Allison and that like kind of thing. And I do think she was part of the A team in a sense, but not really like quite knowing what she was doing. Like she was like not like ever fully really like big part of the team, like say how Lucas is. Lucas potentially on there. I think he could be like parroting what like is being dictated to him as A. I could see that because we haven't checked in on him, but last time we saw him, he was looking awful. And I think Mona is their pipeline for the drugs that they're using to drug people like Emily. And I think this is all still coming from Jenna, our master manipulator, top of the food chain, who is also very good at lying. And then Allison's body. I think they dug Allison's body up to get specific items out of there that were buried with her that could potentially exonerate them and things, like Bracelet and things like that. But I don't know what they get by like keeping her body. I guess you just can't put it back because they're now could be watching. So I think
someone just brings it back.
Right. I think going for Allison's body was a way to ensure that they can continue doing A business without getting stuff on their back, because they have ways to prevent the police from, potentially pointing the finger at them for being the killers.
I like it.
Yeah, so I think, potentially multiple killers, but I think there's probably one person that will eventually get an answer on. But we still got lots of moving parts here without too many clear ideas. Oh, and you can throw Cece on the list as potential, but like God knows what she's doing. Noel is also potentially on the list, of course, for A. He could be doing a similar thing as Lucas, like I'm saying, like texting from there. Is there any other? Oh, and we could throw on some red herrings like Paige, and Paige potentially like getting close to Emily to try and like figure stuff out, but I think Paige is a little bit too hapless for that to work out. Or you could take some of our boys. There'd be big betrayals from Caleb and Toby.
Well, the lady killer is a betrayal episode, and that's the mid-season finale.
And that's that would be in our next batch, right?
Yes, that'll be in our next episode.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for Theory Corner. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Goodbye.
Before we go, what do you think's going to happen in the mid-season finale? Those are like their best episodes.
Right.
Like they almost always are.
Yeah.
And then we get to watch the Halloween episode, and I just love that one.
Like you said, big betrayal episode, and called Lady Killer. There's Lady Killers.
I think it's the Lady Killer.
The Lady Killer.
I think it's the Lady Killer. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look it up.
Yeah. What is going to happen? We get some revelation on that one of the love interests has been doing something. I think maybe some revelation on Toby, and it's gonna crush us. that he did something or has been doing something that is potentially related to Allison, that he did actually like how Allison called him a creep. There could be like some weird credence to that. There's like some weird bad blood still there. Or that Fitz did something. Yeah, and that could also be potential since he leaves all sorts of damaged women in his wake. And it'll point, I guess, that the Allison murder will point to one of those people, or that person that we think there, but it's not actually going to be actually real there, but it's going to really look like they did something. They might have killed Allison. Also,
just like the season 2 finale, Unmasked, a new A is revealed in The Lady Killer.
Wait, really?
That was how it was advertised too. Like you were going to find out something.
A new A?
At least like
an A is revealed.
An aspect of an A is revealed.
Wild. Okay, I didn't.
There is an A reveal. I don't really like how they marketed these because you sat there thinking you were going to find out who A was, and that was obviously not the name of the game.
So it's just more like lowercase A reveal.
Mm-hmm. And the alternate name of this episode, the hashtag, was the betrayal with a capital A in the.
Oh, okay. You find out that someone's on the A team. That's what that realizes. That's what it signals to me.
Mm-hmm.
And where would it hit the worst?
Where would it hit you the worst, honey?
Toby.
Okay, and where do you think it would hit the show the worst?
I think Toby would actually be up there. As a betrayal, or because it's someone alive. I wouldn't think it'd be Maya. I mean, Maya could also be up there. But let's see, who else could it be? Toby is probably my number one, as in where the gut punch would be. And then and I'm also kind of going off that because our friend Heather had alluded to like some suspicious activity with Toby. But I also think that'd be a good gut punch, like pulling him in there. And then if it's going to be a different, or like Caleb, I don't think it's going to be one of the protagonists, although that'd be like a good rug pull.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I guess like a protagonist could be that, and it could be out of the protagonists, who would be the most likely? Hannah, maybe.
You'd put a Hannah on the A team?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
No.
Out of all of them, that is the only one I would not. I would put.
It'd be the least
4. She'd be number 4 out of 4.
It'd go Emily, Spencer, Aria, Hannah, I think, and that'd be like most likely to least likely.
Mm-hmm.
Emily, Spencer, Aria, Hannah. Yeah.
Well.
Exciting.
Yeah, I know.
The betrayal. Wait.
Yeah. Betray. A.
Betray. A.
Betrayal.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool.
Are you excited?
I am very excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, okay. Good stuff.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's stuff.
It's
Pretty Little Liars. So good is relative.
Okay.
And then we get to watch my favorite episode, which is the Halloween episode from season 3.
Well, you hear Miss Momentum, we might be having a show coming up.
Well, I don't know why we wouldn't, because this will go up the week of our wedding. The one before it, this will go up the week after. I don't think we'll have any that we miss. But I like that you're setting people's expectations low, because who knows?
Yeah, we might still miss. We're gonna have one go up tomorrow. This will go next week. I don't know. So we'd have to record another one to not miss one, but we'll see.
All right. Well,
plugs.
When I'm not here doing this, I do other things. They're in my link tree. You can find them if you want.
There you go.
It's a hard sell.
You can find this podcast on all your podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also find this on YouTube at Dead Ends. You can also find our Twitter at Dead Ends Podcast on Twitter. I already said that. And you can also send us emails, deadendspcast@gmail.com. And we'll say that it'd be a good time to send those. I'll try and like shout this out every week. Leading up until the Pretty Dirty Secrets, or whatever that's called, the web series, because we'll probably have a little bit of a shorter episode then. So if you got like questions, comments, or just like want to talk about the show up till now, and like exciting things happen there, shoot them over. And then please don't send spoilers. But you can send that to deadendspcast@gmail.com.
All right.
We're still here. We're going to find out everything. We won't betray you.
We won't. No, we're not like that.
Never.